Ready? All right. Okay, if I can get everyone's attention, thank you all for coming here tonight. It's really exciting. Kat is really Lincoln's rising star. You're originally a Lincoln girl, right? I mean, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but Kat just got accepted into the Yale MFA program. And for those of you who are unlike myself and not a complete art snob, being in the Yale MFA program is like being a first-round draft pick in the hardest NBA. I mean, there are 20 spots that are fought over by students from around this country. And I think Nebraska is the only state, and Aaron Holtz is the only man that can say, that can say, you have 2 of the 40 slots in the Yale MFA program with the Nebraska people. But more importantly, Kat, man, you came out big, and I wish you could say, oh, I had no worries or no doubts, but I didn't see anything until earlier this week, and so I was like, I even asked her, and I'm like, do I need to be worried about Kat? And Aaron's like, no, you don't need to be worried about Kat. And I'm like, okay. And then Kat brought in her work. I'm like, oh my God, okay. She brought her A game again. This is next level work. For, those of you, I don't know, there's still a few pieces available. I mean, buy it now if you want to be able to, because if Kat did what, sky's the limits for this, for Kat. I mean, she's a star. So enough with me, let's hear from the star.
Thanks, bud.
Who I am and what I am is because of this place, because of the people in this room, and I would never have been able to do so much of this without y'all. Like, it's y'all too. Like, we've just done this together. My best friend Brittany Stokes is right there, and I just want to say something about this girl, which is that she's been my best friend since I was 15. The print in the back of the room, I just want to credit her for a second, okay? So, I remember we were up till 5 a.m. making that print. It's a 3-layer woodblock print. So there's 3 woodblocks. You have to stretch the paper because it's printed on a bag, which is a real pain in the ass if you do printmaking. And this girl was up with me till the end, working on that print, helping me pull it through the press. This is Kasi Kawako. He was my studio assistant this year and one of my good friends. And he helped me stretch these canvases and do a lot of this labor. And it takes a village to put on a show like this, and I'm really lucky to have a good one. So thank you, thank you. And just thank you to the gallery for taking a chance on me. I'm 26, and I thought you guys were gonna say no. So I'm excited to be here. But about the show itself, it's sort of it's an evolution of work. So kind of in the back of the space, you have the brown bag pieces, which are from 2018 and 2019, and they explore the brown bag test, which was a practice in the African American community up until the 1970s, where they would compare Black people to a paper bag, and this was within Black spaces. And so if you weren't lighter than the color of this bag, you couldn't enter those spaces. And thinking about that, and thinking about just being a light-skinned Black girl in Nebraska, in both the oppressive nature of being in isolation and being at predominantly white institutions all the time, but also the privilege that often exists to sometimes pass as white or sometimes pass as these different things and have people treat me better than I see my peers being treated. That was what I was thinking about that body of work. And then the body of work that I'm showing on the left, these 3 pieces
are kind of the singers. They're like hitting the high notes in the show a little bit for me, and I think probably for you guys too. And on the far left is a portrait of my mom. In the middle is a portrait of my auntie and my uncle Robert Parker, and on the far right is a portrait of Joel Walansa Sandport, who is an Ethiopian and white artist and naturalist here in Lincoln. And so these pieces were really new for me because they were a part of like a very process-based way of creating, where I'm interviewing people and then we're creating these photo shoots together, and then I'm making paintings after that, and so it's like weeks of work go into one of those pieces. And then I made a podcast so I could share these interviews so that it's not just like another image of a black person holding up a fist and they're sort of nameless and faceless. It's not propaganda, but it's about individuals and it's about people. And so those stories are recorded in the books in the back of the show, and you can take it home with you, and it's not like $4,000. That's really nice. Yeah, so thank you for being here. I would love to talk to you, and I'm like so grateful you're all here, and there's so much more I could say, and so many more people I could thank. God knows, my dad gave me like spray paint when I was in like 12. Thank you. I've been very well supported, and I really appreciate a lot of you here who've been my husband. That's my husband, Scott Wiese. He's let me like pretty much take over our house in really significant ways. Like living room out of order. Thanks for letting me do that and for helping me through the mental breakdowns and like all of the ups and downs in between. I love you. So yeah, thank you. Thanks for being here.
Kat will be milling around, so if you have any questions, let us know, unless you have for taking any questions at all, Kat.
Yeah, I love
All right,
questions.
okay,
I love to talk.
Kat likes questions. Shoot, come on, who's got something? Well, I guess Kat did a question.